I wanted to ask you about the To the Stars Academy.
Okay.
And your experience there.
Well, I was there from the foundation of that thing. I saw it happening. I knew, I was friends with one of the owners there before they ever created the thing. And friends with Tom DeLonge. And they tried to get me to be a part. And at that time, I wasn't interested. And so, I had other things going. And
who was the owner or founder that you were friends with?
Tom DeLonge, Blink-182, Rockstar, and a group of other guys, Jim Semivan, and there was Chris Mellon, and I think Lou Elizondo was in that, and Steve Justice, was there.
And Jim Semivan he left the CIA in 2007 and went to start this with those guys?
They didn't start To the Stars until like 2015.
Oh, really? Okay.
2016.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was, I was eating lunch with Jim at a pizza place in Fayetteville with Jim and Debbie and some of my kids when he got a phone call about Tom. And that was he didn't even know him then. And I heard him fussing at the guy on the phone about how he knew certain things. And anyhow, it went from there to being formed into To the Stars. And I had a full offer to be a part. And I just kind of backed out from it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, what was it? What was your experience like there?
With them?
Yeah, what were they trying to get you to do or convert?
Well, I think that Tom wanted to buy my life rights and create a movie by it, and he wanted to control the meme to it. And I'm like, no, if I tell this story, we're going to tell it my way. I'm not going to. And however he was going to portray it, I don't know, right? But I wanted that control.
Okay.
And that's why I published the book myself. I didn't publish with Random House or any of them because I didn't want nobody having my life rights.
Okay.
So I retained them that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, Ryan came on a couple of months ago and mentioned that they were trying to.
Let's just say they had a darker outlook of it than I wanted to be a part of.
Very dark. And why? Why would they do that, do you think?
I'm not saying they're government, but I'm saying there's a lot of government around it, right? And I can tell you the common thing I've heard and been involved with is the government's afraid of this thing. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to deal with it. And they don't want us dealing with it because they think they may lose control over humanity, which from a government standpoint, I mean, that's valid, I guess, to say. So they're going to look towards making it more dark and negative than it being what I'm saying it is, And all I've said is follow the evidence. Believe what you want to believe, but believe based on evidence. That's how court works. And the government's been telling us 70, 80 years, we have this, we have that, we've got this, we've got that, we've got bodies, we've got machines, we've got all this. But in 80 years, we haven't seen anything. But everybody believes they got all this, but you're never going to see any of it, ever. They will never share it. So all I'm saying is follow the evidence.
So do you not think that there's a crash retrieval program and that we have bodies? And
it's possible if they have it, and I've been involved in that, and I've heard all kinds of things. But you're never going to see it. They can't. It's not possible. For one, where it would be located is held within the grasp of the National Reconnaissance Office, most likely, CIA, the Air Force, and NASA, all three. Well, to get, when it's tangled up into three major divisions, you've got to get all three to agree to declassify this, and it takes more than an act of Congress. it would take something on the scale of something we've never seen just to get the Air Force to agree to declassify it. Then you got two other companies, the CIA and NASA. They're not going to do it. They can't. So you're never going to see anything. You're just going to hear words. We have this, we have that. We made this based off of that.
So you've given up hope on knowing how much truth is behind
I believe in seeing is believing. I don't believe in what people tell me. You say you got a body, let's see it. You got a crash flying saucer, let's see it. They do have metal and I've had metal from orbs dripping off of orbs, and they brought a piece of metal to me that they tested me with, and it kind of like electrocuted me. But
do you still have that, or
I don't? They took my metal and classified it. Said you're not getting it back. Just chalk it up for the country. Wow. That was the words they told me.
Yeah.
But I don't believe. I want to believe, but I want to see. Show me the body, show me the flying machine, and if they have all this, they've had it for 50 years, then you've got to have a whole lot of people that's made a whole lot of money off of it, working within the government, and I know some that have made millions and millions studying this kind of stuff. So is that fair to give it all to one little group of people to reap from it and hide it from the world? I think if that could be a problem for them. I don't think they'll ever tell it. Not to show you something. I think they'll tell it. We have this, we have that. They got all these whistleblowers that come out that says, I saw a UFO fly by. That's one thing. But you got others saying, I saw a piece of paper, I heard somebody say, I witnessed this guy telling this guy this. It's always I heard somebody or I saw something. It's plausible deniability. And so you got to believe what they say without evidence. Mm. And that don't work in court nowhere.
Mm-hmm. 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 So the whistleblowers that are coming out, and apparently there's more whistleblowers on the way. They might even be out by the time this episode's released next week.
Yep.
Thoughts on them? Is it similar?
Well, let's hear what they got to say.
Yeah.
Or are they going to say, I saw a guy that saw somebody that said this? Or are they going to say, I worked for this, I worked on this, here's what it looks like, here's a drawing of it, and gives more than I saw or I met somebody, They've got to get away from that, I saw a document sitting on somebody's desk that said, we have a flying machine. Well,
it's so difficult to understand who you can believe in this phenomenon. It really is. It's one of the most frustrating things about the phenomenon is you don't know who is a CIA operative, who is a disinformation guy, who's been hired by them to spread disinformation and to create a narrative and to just kind of capture people in their own, just whatever, in their own. It's very challenging. And so when I hear you talk about the To the Stars guys and the whistleblowers and you're right. It's difficult to know who to believe. Who has ties to the CIA? Who's what's the reason for coming out and the narrative that we're hearing different people push? What's kind of behind that?
There's a whole group of people in the government that don't want it told, and there's a group that does. And I found out the ones that don't want it told are involved with it and probably making money off of it in some way. Because I know some that do.
And what do you mean? What do you mean there?
Well, science, science, experiments, medical devices, and a lot more. Anti-gravity, levitation. If anything they glean from it, somebody's somebody's benefiting from it, and it's not the public.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the guys like that are so like a Lou Elizondo, is that for in your mind? Is that just straight up disinformation?
No, Lou's a friend of mine.
Okay.
You know, and
you think he's telling the truth? And
I think Lou's a good guy,
okay.
And I've known him a long time, and I think he is under the whistleblower rules, meaning he can't say what he wants to say. And I think he was the first one groomed to be in that position. He was groomed to be where he is. He didn't just fall into that spot. It was a long time coming to get there. And there again, no evidence. Show us the goods. Show us the body. Show us the machine. You know, give us his ink pen or his whatever they carry. You know, show us a hat or a shoe or something. But all this we've seen, we saw. I saw a document. I don't believe in words. I want to see the data. And with the orbs, you can see them. And I've been saying for all these years, they're going to come when you see Iran and Israel going at it, which they are, and all of a sudden orbs are everywhere. And everybody knows I've said that, right?
Now he did help to get some of those videos released. So I mean that's kind of a like showing people at least in 2017 when that article came out in the New York Times with the gimbal and the Tic Tac video and the Go Fast, I guess is.
Yeah, see there again, the declassifying those. Lou couldn't share what he wanted to share. I mean, if he could share, I mean, more people would believe. But they limit him to crappy videos. Those videos he shared are on the low end of the scale, what they should have. I'm hearing to have detailed, very clear videos, evidence up close, like flying right alongside the plane. Where's that? You'll never see it.
Right.
If they have it, show it, and that would end it all. But Lou can't do it because he don't have the authority to do it. All he can do is, I saw. You know, so he's restricted into what he can do.
So how do we what in terms of disclosure then, and what are your thoughts on the disclosure movement and the stage of the disclosure, if it even exists? And the stage of the disclosure movement that we're currently in?
Well, we can look at it from up there down. Disclosure's been happening for 70 years. The way they want it to happen, aliens with star cruisers and ray guns and, you know, this kind of thing with no evidence. But I think from a mile-high view, it's a progressive movement, and they've been grooming us for 50 years with all sorts of other things involved that leads into this same thing, like, you know, animal mutilation, people missing in state parks, all that. They slowly but surely tying it into this UFO alien coming and getting people, eating us and eating our cows. That's what you're going to probably hear at some point, if they get the nerve to do it. I think that the government has a hard time with credibility anymore. Nobody wants to believe them as a whole. So they've got a hard way to go doing disclosure. They will have a hard time at it because nobody wants to hear the negative. Nobody wants to hear there's no such thing as God, only aliens that eat people, and they eat little girls. I've heard this in briefings, which was sick. People trying to come up with this thing to tell to the public.
This is what Ryan mentioned that the To the Stars guys said about the slitting a little girl. I can't even say this on YouTube, but that's the narrative that they were attempting to push.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That it was going to be slanted evil or dark, so we wouldn't mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've took the high road, said, no, thank you. I'm not selling my soul to no one. I'm going to tell it the way I experience it. I don't go to these UFO shows and involve myself with all these other people, so I don't take on their. I want to be true to me, and for 18 years I've been a loner, studying with scientists, and I've had congressmen at my house, senators, all have seen this with me, and yeah. So I'm doing what I know and sharing. I've just started sharing. I've been hiding. It's like I have a new camera. I got it in April. Everybody handed me, you need a new camera, you need a new camera. Well, finally got one in April and didn't use it until June because I was traveling all over the country. And July 4th, went up to Annapolis and threw my camera out on the back deck of my friend's house and started filming orbs in the daytime. And I have close to 700 videos with a high-definition camera, and I've only released a half a dozen. So I've just taken my time and preparing to get them coming out of the orb in full-blown glory. And that's what I think is going to happen.